Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining in this morning. Let's first check the audio and make sure that you can hear us loud and clear. And we'll be using the question panel that this is on the right side of your screen. We'll be using this panel throughout the webinar, so you can send us all of your questions. Ms. Ron, thank you so much. So if you can hear us loud and clear, just let us know through the question panel. And also through the webinar, if you want to send us a comment or a question, you can use this same question panel to send us all of your comments. Thank you, Mr. Enriquez. All right, so we're just gonna wait a couple of minutes for everyone to join in. And after that, we'll be starting our ShareFile webinar. Remote control up to 1.25 miles, sensors, Wiegand with ShareFile. Also, a quick reminder that this webinar will be recorded and sent to your email right after the webinar. So for today's webinars, we have our upcoming engineer, Miguel Ruiz, as well as Bradley Parker from ShareFile. So I think now, we're ready to start. And I would like to welcome Bradley Parker from ShareFile, who will be our presenter for today's webinar. Please send us all of your questions on the same question panel that I just mentioned. And at the end of the webinar, we'll be having a Q&A to answer all of the questions. For those of you just joining in, welcome. And Bradley, we are ready to start.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you allowing me to present and come and share about ShareFile today. Like you said, please, put the questions in the chat box over there in the question spot, and we'll make sure that we get those answered during the Q&A part. So, just so you know, my name is Brad Parker. I'm from northern Utah, and in Utah is where ShareFile is based. And what we are really is a radio company at heart. So we have these radios. This is kind of what our radio module looks like. And then all of our bridges will have I/O attached to that radio. And so we'll just talk a little bit today about our radio, the security of the radio, how our radio provides value to you, and go over some of the products that we have that use our radio. And then we do have a few kits available and how the people are using our radio for solutions for their customers. And then we do have an app that we will talk about a little bit for on how to use this. This app is for installers, not end users, to change some configurations and things like that on our radios and I/O boards. So, well, let's go ahead and start. This is a little testing kit that you can get for the radio to test the range. And this is how we know if our radio is going to work in different situations.
ShareFile is a revolutionary RF technology designed from the ground up to communicate over long distances and through heavy obstructions. Utilizing advanced techniques and modulations, ShareFile takes RF to a whole new level of reliability and security. See the powerful possibilities of ShareFile RF technology on your own project with the ShareFile Evaluation Kit. Inside your kit are two range testers. Turn on both devices using the power switch on the back of the units. Once powered on, you can send a test signal from one device to another by pressing the button on the front of either of the units. The blue lights on the front of the device indicate the test signal strength. Instead of pulling wire, sometimes hundreds of feet in a building, from a thermostat to a furnace, first perform a range test using your ShareFile Evaluation Kit. After verifying the system can successfully communicate from the thermostat to the furnace, you can confidently install a wireless Surefire system, saving time and money. Are there natural obstacles such as rivers and hills between equipment locations? Use your range testers to confirm that your Surefire units will be able to communicate from your equipment locations. Once verified, you can install a Surefire system. No need for costly trenching or running wire across water. Traditionally, installing access control at a multi-story parking garage is labor-intensive. With the range evaluation kit, you can efficiently test all your entrances. Once you've established that Surefire will work, simply install a unit at each access point. To demonstrate its signal strength, we used the Surefire range evaluation kit at the Empire State Building. Keeping one range tester in the lobby, we brought the other to the 80th floor. Despite 953 feet of RF interference, construction, and dense materials, we successfully maintained a clear signal. If you are looking for more ideas on how you can use Surefire in your project, visit our YouTube channel. With potential like this, how will you put your free evaluation kit to the test? For more information about Surefire or to see how you can get your free evaluation kit, contact us today at surefire.com.
So with this evaluation kit, it's really nice because you can take it and test the radio signal strength between your two points that you want to use one of our solutions. This next slide will talk about just the security of our radio. We encrypt it, and it'll talk to you more about how secure it is, but it is nearly more secure than wire.
The systems are usually extremely secure at the entry point, the controller, and even the interface software, but where is the wire? It's running through drop ceilings and conduit, which are within reach in unsecured areas and to unauthorized individuals. Yes, they are running through bathrooms, lobbies, janitor closets. It could even be outside the building, in the dirt, where anyone with a cheap scanner or rudimentary tools can mine all the access codes and data they want. Our clients place highest priority on access and data security, so they turn to us when it has to be private. You see, with our family of products, the Surefire signal is military-grade encrypted, has 72-channel hopping to eliminate interference, uses multiple paths, and over-the-air rekeying, which frequently changes the key. These features render our signal elusive to monitor and provides no time to decrypt a complicated, ever-changing code. In short, it's more secure than wire.
So with that security of our radio, the time that it takes to communicate, it's not on air very long. It's encrypted, and it hops the channel and uses multiple paths. So very difficult to even know that that signal is being sent, and so very secure. And people are usually very surprised, pleasantly surprised, on how well and how the distance we get, you know, how we can get through obstruction, and how far and how good the signal is through that obstruction. Some of the things that we've heard back from installers like Byron here in this little picture is that he's able to outbid the competition, or at least get it done faster, because we're eliminating installers' least favorite part of the job. Trenching, running conduit, running wires, gets them really their time of doing what they need to do. Byron was telling me that with his guys, if they're having to trench or having to run conduit or run wire, they don't always know what they're going to get into. They don't know what obstacles, there's going to be some risks there if they get into something that they weren't expecting, or maybe, you know, damage somebody else's wires or things like that. And so there's a little bit of risks in you know, anytime you trench in the ground or running in existing places, that you might run into something unforeseen or unexpected. So with Surefire, where you're at the door, at the control panel, you pretty much know how long it's going to take you to install, and it takes some of the risks out of hitting things that or having some unexpected expenses there.
Okay, my name's Myron Burnett with Wired.
So that way the installers can spend their time doing what they need to do. We had one person that we were talking to, they said, hey, they're trying to grow their business. They were having a hard time getting laborers, getting more trucks and things like that. And so they were able to get the jobs done faster because they weren't running as much wire. They're just putting the Surefis in, and their installers were able to get things done faster, more effectively, and getting more jobs done with the same amount of laborers, just eliminating that wire. And then just being confident with the product. They were able to test it. They know the signal strength was going to work. So it reduced the number of callbacks they had to, just because they don't have that wire in the ground. The wire wasn't getting damaged or cut by other people, other companies, and because there is no wire there to fail. And then another person in Las Vegas told us that he was able to go back with this new technology and rebid jobs that he didn't get before, maybe because there was a lot of labor, or because of trenching, or the labor costs in remodeling. And so he was able to pick up a lot of jobs that he wasn't able to get before because of this new radio technology. So the current bridges that we currently have, our most popular is our Wiegand bridge. It has, and we'll go over these in more detail one by one, but it transfers Wiegand data, and it has 2 relays each direction. We just launched our Access Pro bridge. This one does Wiegand data, OSDP, and 2 relays each direction. We have a relay low voltage that is 1 to multiple, so it can go up to 8 endpoints with 1 center hub, but that one does just relays. We have our HVAC that replaces thermostat wire to multiple equipment units. We have our analog bridge that will do variable relays, 4 to 20 milliamp signals and 0 to 10 volt signals, 2 thermistor inputs. And then we have our Relay Pro bridge that has 8 relays each direction. So we'll jump through these real quick, one by one, and then we can have questions afterwards. So this is our Wiegand bridge. Like I said, it works with any just normal Wiegand protocol. This remote interface side, it goes out at your access point, your door, your gate, pedestrian gate, barrier arms, whatever you're using out there. And it has 1 Wiegand input and 2 relays each direction. So one of those relays coming back would trigger the gate, but it has space. A lot of times those other relays are used for like a request to exit or a door position sensor, something like that. This controller interface just goes near the access control panel. So this would wire into the access control panel, the Wiegand wires, all of the relay wires, and so the panel doesn't even realize that it's not hardwired. So this Wiegand controller interface kind of mocks all of that stuff on that side. And then this remote interface out at that gate, it acts as like you'd wire it in as if it was an access control panel, putting the Wiegand device on those inputs and then hooking those relays up. If for some reason you have more than a mile of obstruction, and you still need to get that way back gate or through more than 84 floors of obstruction, these are daisy chain capable. So you can pass that signal through multiple pairs. You just take the remote of 1 pair and hardwire it to the controller of a 2nd pair, and you can chain multiples bridges together to get even more distance and more obstruction. We do have a lot of solution kits that include the Wiegand bridge. As we've talked to installers, they've said, they've asked us, hey, do you have some kind of a outdoor rated NEMA enclosure that would house your device that we could use? And so on our website, we have made available to some of these solutions that can be offered to that have these available. And so you can talk to EPCOM to get pricing and availability on some of these. So we have, well, we'll just go through some of them. If you wanted to flush mount this to drywall near a door, so it's just flush mounted, nice, neat, looks really good. We have some flush mounts available. Our flush mount kits have just 12 volts if you have strikes or something like that. If you need 24 volts, we have the commercial available. It comes with our Wiegand, it comes with a remote and a controller interface, and you can get 12 or 24 volts depending on which unit that you get there. It can accept anything from 85 to 305 volts AC with the included transformer there, and our device runs off of the 12 volts. And then the commercial one has 24 volts available. We have the surface mount kits. The surface mount can be out by a garage or on the side of a building, or surface mount on a door, maybe up in a drop ceiling. Comes with the Surefire bridge. These also come in 12 and 24 volts, or these are just the 12 volt solutions with the surface mount. It also comes with a Phoenix connector. We had some feedback saying that, you know, to always have to carry a tiny little screwdriver for our terminal blocks was a little bit annoying, and so we've brought some wires down connected to this terminal block so you can use a little bit bigger screwdriver and land your Wiegand device and locking mechanisms to this Phoenix connectors down here that work better, that terminal strip there. So we also have the 24 volt solutions. These come in a 1 or 2 door or 1 or 2 reader type solution. So these will have 12 or 24 options. Come in a little bit bigger box because we do have space here for 3 batteries. One of the batteries will do 12 volt backup, and the other 2 are for the 24 volts. So these make it just really nice. You can mount them by the door, by the gate, and you can have 12 or 24. Makes it really quick to get an access control solution here. This is just a picture of somebody mounting it near the door. They just pulled the reader and strike wires up and installed. I think they can get a door done in 10 or 15 minutes. So we do have this one. It's available. That we had a lot of people asking for 2 readers, and this brings up I'll answer this question. Many people have asked us if you can put 2 readers into one Surefire device, and the answer is you can try it, but we don't recommend that from the manufacturer, simply because Wiegand is not addressable. And so if you have 2 readers going into one Surefire, it would only be able to recognize it as 1 reader at the panel, and then it would trigger the relay back, which it could open, and then it would just open everything that was connected to it. The problem that we have ran into is that when that reads, sometimes the reader that's not being used will draw the data voltage lines down, and so it will sometimes not give a consistent read. And so we found that just hooking up 1 reader to 1 Surefire gives us a lot more consistency. The data voltage stays there and makes it so that we can be more consistent. If you hook 2 up, it can drop that data line voltage down. And so we have this in 1 NEMA enclosure, so you can have a high-low scan, in-out scan, or just if you need 2 Wiegand devices there, or 2 different types of Wiegand devices there for any reason. Like I said, we can daisy chain these together. And so if you are needing to go 2 miles through obstruction or get through, you know, more distance or need a higher signal, We have this kit available where you can mount at a high point or a midpoint, and then this comes where it is already wired all the inputs and outputs together. So you just have one remote interface from one pair and a controller interface from the second pair, and you can double your obstruction, double your distance by mounting this at a midpoint or high point. And it just needs power, AC power, and it has the transformer in there to power this. This also comes in a solar option. If at that midpoint or high point you do not have AC power, it can also run off of solar. One of our most popular ones that we've had is this portable access point. Especially with the pandemic, people were wanting to trace where people were located or take roll or attendance in certain spots. And so this is really, if there's temporary structures like the hospitals set up pop-up tents or something like that, where they need to control the flow of people or at least monitor where people are. They can use the door system to monitor where those people are and use our portable access point to have people scan where it's portable. You don't have to trench run wires. It can just go mile through obstruction and get to where it needed to go. So this has been really popular in places where they need to monitor and control the flow of people a little bit, or at least monitor where they are. Pop-up tents, cafeterias, libraries, any place where they need to monitor that, this is available. We do run off of solar, and we can use the app. I can show you a little bit in the app how you can change the power settings on this if need be. But this solar solution comes with an enclosure, the solar panel, a mount for the solar panel, and this can be put out at that gate or in a location where AC power is not available. So we have quite a few different solar solutions there. And we also have a retrofit assessment tool. This is really nice to do some troubleshooting on existing access control systems. There's times you go out on a service call or you take over a access control on a business or a place that you don't know what the wiring's like. You don't know a lot of different things. And so with this, if there's something that's not working, this can help you identify where the problem is. Is it a bad reader? Is it bad wire in the ground? Is it a bad input or output on the access control panel? This retrofit assessment tool has Wiegand inputs. It can, through our app, it can send and receive Wiegand data and display it on the screen. It can test the data line voltages, and it can test continuity on relays. So it has a little 10-pin connector on the top. And with this device and paired with our phone app, it can just do a lot of testing and help you find at the different locations what might be breaking down, what's working, maybe what's not working. It also comes with a nice or an optional wiring harness that has these little pins on it, so it makes it easier to either pierce the insulation to test the wiring or to slide into the terminal strips in different places or the little wire connectors to be able to test the Wiegand at the Wiegand reader or at the control panel and see how those wires or see if there's any bad wires or shorts or anything like that. So that is our Wiegand bridge. The next bridge, and that one's our most popular, and so that we have a lot more accessories and options with that one. This Access Pro bridge is something that I'm personally really excited about, and I've had a lot of customers that are really loving this bridge. It has one Wiegand input up to 256 bits. our other Wiegand bridge only goes up to 64 bits. So this one does higher bit rate, which isn't used a whole ton, but in a lot of really high security places, especially when you get into government uses and things like that, they might have a 200-bit reader or something like that. And so this one will do up to 256 bits. And the part that I'm most excited about this bridge with is it brings the OSDP protocol capability to it. And so if you get a card reader device or access control device that uses fingerprints, that connects Bluetooth to a phone, or something like that that uses the OSDP, this bridge will be compatible with that. It also has the 2 relays each direction for request exit or door position monitoring. And then this one also has the configurable supervised inputs. So this bridge is something that we've been working on for a long time, and something that our customers have been asking for a long time, to bring this OSDP compatibility to fruition with the Surefire ranges. So we're really excited about this bridge and the opportunities it's going to bring to go to the next level with access control with that OSDP compatibility. We'll hopefully get some good installation videos on that one that I can share later, but where it's brand new, we don't really have any installs yet. It's only launched since the 1st of March. So the next most popular bridge is our relay wireless bridge. This one's basically exactly the same as the Wiegand bridge, except it doesn't have the Wiegand inputs. It just has 2 relays each direction. So if they're doing access control on and just using a timer or a push button or something like that to do hold opens on a schedule, and there's not card readers out at those gates or doors, everything's just timed, you can just use these, little bit more economical, and 2 relays each direction. Still has the battery backup, same form factor as the Wiegand device. I've even used this one to trigger sprinklers or other kind of monitoring, anything that can use a dry contact to monitor for tamper or for anything else. And so this just has 2 dry contact relays each direction. We've had people ask us about more relays, because our relay bridge only had 2 relays each direction. Some people wanted 3 for an open, a shut, and a stop, or other applications that use even more. And so our Relay Pro bridge, I don't know why it says product coming soon. This is available now. This has 8 relays each direction, 2 Form C mechanical relays on each side, 5 Form C solid state relays on each side, and 1 Form A solid state relay on each side. So there's 8 relays going each direction for a total of 16 relays. And the one good thing about this one is it will work off of 12 or 24 AC or DC, where our other bridges would do 12 volts so far, but this one will do 12 or 24 AC or DC. Our Wireless Pro bridge, it will do 12 volts or 24 volts AC or DC. It's our only one that goes 1 to multiple. So we got this 1 center hub. When purchased, it comes with 1 expansion unit, so they come in a pair, and then you can purchase up to 7 more expansion units for a total of 8. When the relays are triggered from this head end, it will send out to all 8 expansion units, and it has 8 relays on there. 1 through 5 are wet, so they have a shared common and pass through the voltage, whatever it's powered with. And then it has 3 dry contact relays. And then it has 2 relays from each of the endpoints, relays 9 and 10, will send a signal back to this center hub. So 2 coming back. We also have a few just relay solutions that we've put together. One of them is a smart assistant garage door opener. Okay. Oh, I thought I had more videos on that, but a smart assistant garage door opener. What this does is there's a little device here that connects to maybe a home's Wi-Fi, and it just sends out the trigger for a gate or garage door through the Surefire device. So the B unit would be out at that gate or door. And then it also has a door position sensor relay that would come back and connect into this, which connects to the internet. So if somebody has a gate or a door that is not in internet range, you can put this A unit with the hub in the house and the B unit out at the gate, and it doesn't even know that it's not wired. We also have a push button if there's a guard station or security office that just wants to trigger a relay by a push button. We've got 8 push buttons here. Can go out into the 8 endpoints, uses the relay low voltage to send that data out to the different endpoints. This one is one for the panel, one to multiple. Instead of push buttons, we have the Phoenix connectors there that can just hook up to like an access control panel, or you can use your own buttons or something like this. And then this last one here is just the expansion that could connect to the buttons or the panel mount there. So you can do one to multiple on with these different relay solutions. And I'm skipping over some of the videos just for time. They are all available on our YouTube channel. We can link to that. So you can, go down the rabbit hole on some of our different solutions. I just know that if I show all the videos, we'll absolutely run out of time. Our analog wireless bridge, this is getting into more of the HVAC world. This one is kind of a cool bridge. I have not got to play with it a ton myself, but it has 2 voltage loops for the 0 to 10 volt input output each direction, and then 2 current loops, 4 to 20 milliamps each direction, 2 thermistor inputs, and then a general purpose relays for communications. I've seen this used in HVAC where they're opening and shutting dampeners certain amounts. Also in water tower monitoring where they drop it in and they can use that 4 to 20 to transmit the water level in a water tower back to a computer without having to run wire.
The Surefire bridge reliably.
And then our last bridge is the this one is the Surefire module bridge. This one can go one to multiple, and basically it can support use of a Knox box. So if you have like an HOA or some property where you need to just unlock a whole bunch of doors with the push of a button or twist of a key, you can put the white unit at the box, go out to 8 different units just to release all the locks so that it'll be open so that the fire or the emergency personnel can access all of those different locks. Basically, it's the same as our relay low voltage. We've just restickered it. And then we also have the HVAC that replaces the thermostat wire. And then just a quick overview of our app, and then we can jump into questions and answers. Our Surefire app is available on Apple and Android. And when you open it up, this app is for the installers and the end user, or not the end users, but the installers. When you open it up, you click the Start Scanning button. It accesses the camera and scans a QR code on our device. Here you can find the manual videos, and then if you click Advanced Settings, it will allow you to connect to the Surefire unit via Bluetooth. To do that, you have to press and hold the test button on the unit for 5 seconds. It'll connect to our servers, upload some logs to the servers, and connect to it via Bluetooth. And then you get a list of options that you can look at on that app. Just a few of them that I want to talk to you about is just the configuration. If you want to add fail safes or have the relays fail in a certain way if power gets lost on the other side. So let's say the power in the building gets lost, you're at a gate, you want it to fail secure or fail open, you can program that here in the configuration. And then if you're troubleshooting, if for some reason you're not getting your data across, you can go into the troubleshooting menu, or the operating values, I mean, sorry, the operating values, and this was a keypad. So here the keypad, somebody pressed an 8, and we get 8 bits, and then they did 4B, which I believe is a 4. So they clicked a 4 here. So you can kind of use the Wiegand data here to see if everything is working the way that it's expected to work. If you're doing just a 26-bit, it'll actually display here the code. It'll give you the 5-digit code, the 3-digit facility code. It will display the last 3 Wiegand bits of Wiegand data there. And then up here, it'll do an open circle or a closed circle when the relays change state. And you can swipe left and right here to see a history of the relay changing state. And then on the troubleshooting, you can manually trigger the relay outputs on the unit you're connected to. And if you're on the Wiegand device, if you're connected to the controller interface, instead of having somebody have to go out and scan at the door to see if the panel is getting the Wiegand data, you can actually type the 5-digit code, the 3-digit facility, choose your bit rate, whether it's 26 or 37, click the send button here, and it will push from the controller interface to the access control panel, and you can see if the panel is reading the Wiegand data. We do offer registration for being a Surefire Pro with us. This allows you to get a free evaluation kit, training, support, things like that from us. So if you need help, we can get you that. And this is my contact information if you do want to give me a call. My email is bradparker or bparker@surefire.com, and that's my cell phone number. And then my colleague is John Caldwell. And I believe that's all we have. I think we're good to go into the question and answer if you'd like.
We have one question here, Bradley.
Yes.
What frequency is used? Do I need a frequency permit?
Yeah, that is a great question. For that, I'm going to jump into our website here and just show you a little bit about the frequency. We use, for our frequency, we use something called chirp modulation. So right now our radio is working off of the 900 megahertz, which is in the free band in the United States. So we don't need any licensing or anything like that. But we use the 900 megahertz. I think it's 902, between 902 and 928. And we use that in a way very different than other radios. And so even though we're using that frequency, we're using chirp modulation, which only uses a small little section of the wave. And so that allows us to get a lot better, get through a lot more obstruction. It does lower our bandwidth, so we can't send as much data, but with Wiegand and relays, we really don't need to send a ton of data. And so using that chirp modulation on the 900 megahertz is the short answer to that.
Okay, really, thanks. And another question is if the product has waterproof.
So our device itself is not waterproof. They do put a coating on it in the factory to help protect it from a little bit of dust and corrosion that might happen. But we do recommend mounting this if you're going to be outside. It needs to be in some kind of waterproof enclosure, like a polycarbonate NEMA rated box.
Right. What if I have 34-bit? It's another question.
Will you ask that again? I didn't quite understand it.
Ron, can you explain more your question? Ron is a client that is asking this. Just wait a second to receive a better explanation of
Okay.
the question. Okay, says that you talked about 26 and 37-bit.
Yes.
So what if I have 34-bit? I don't know
Oh,
if
what if
you.
you have 34 bits? Yeah, so our device will auto detect the bit rate and transmit it across. Our app will display it if it's 26 or 37. It will parse it and it'll give you the code and the facility code. If it is a different bit rate, then it will still auto detect it. It will still pass it across and it will still function, but it's not going to display it on the troubleshooting part of our app because we have not, that's just not been updated in our app yet to how the company using that other bit rate parses the data. So we can read the data, we can pass it across, but we don't know how to interpret it to the code in the facility. And so we haven't put that in our app yet. So if you wanted that and we had the relationship with the customer or with the manufacturer to be able to tell us what 34-bit, how it was parsed, we could get that to display in the app. But our device will function with it. It just doesn't show in the operating values of the app. It doesn't show you what the code and facility is.
Perfect. Let's see if we have another question.
So we're about to close the webinar, and we thank all of you for your time this morning. If you have another question, please send us your question through the question panel, and Brad will be happy to answer it. If not, we'll also be sending you the information from Miguel Ruiz and Brad, so you can send us all your questions through that email and with the one with the recording of this webinar. So let's check if we have any other question. If not, we'll be ready to finish the webinar. Brad, thank you so much for your time this morning and for sharing all this valuable information about SureFi. We hope to have more trainings for SureFi in the future, so keep checking our website as our social media for future webinars. I think we don't have any other question. Brad, if you want to add in anything else before we finish the session.
I just would like to say thank you for having me. It's been a real pleasure. And we do have other trainings like tips and tricks on installation, best practices and things like that that we could definitely set up in the future. And I'd be happy to share that with you. So I look forward to working with you more. And I hope to see you again in the future. And thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for your time. And yes, we'll be happy to schedule a future webinar, and we'll be sending you information for that. Thank you everyone for your time this morning. Keep checking our website as well as our YouTube channel, EPCOM USA, for the recording of this webinar, as well as the other webinars that we are having on a weekly basis. Thank you, Miguel, for your time, and we'll see you in the next session. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.